sort of all the stimulus dollars coming in, and I assume there's a pot for ports. Is that separate than the infrastructure for?
There's some discretionary funding that's available out there. There isn't specifically on ports. There's some rail that's available.
Discretion.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
And so we've got to figure out. So part of this is we've got to be tactical. And I mean, granted, okay. So let's be honest. $54 billion, $1 billion, $2 billion.
Right.
So we're not going to. And so then we also have to be tactical on these other pots of money.
Yes.
But it always boils down to, which I keep hearing from, I think this week the County Road Association of Michigan is in. I met Representative Elsenheim, Representative Schmidt, and I met with a group of people from the Michigan Municipal League today. There's always this issue of the matching dollars.
Yes.
And so we've always been struggling with this on sort of what are we going to be doing for the long term on sustainability, and primarily it's over the gas tax. And so how have you guys advocated? I know you've been passionate about seeing something get done.
We've been working for about the last 3 years trying to educate the media, the general public, and those elected officials here in Lansing on the needs of what we need to do. Just to give you a brief example, not one penny of the stimulus money can go to maintenance. So Grand Traverse County, for example, Chippewa County cannot use any money that they get to move snow around, to put salt on the roads. They can't use it even to patch potholes. That money is not available to them. It has to be for shovel-ready projects. So you look at the challenges that they're facing with their maintenance and their needs to fix some of these roads. We have to find a way to increase our funding level, our investment level here at the state level. Because what we're facing is the reauthorization process happens in Washington as of September 30th of this year. So they're going to be tinkering around looking at how we fund roads federally. So we might increase that take from 92 cents to say 95 cents for every dollar. That would be great. Challenge is we have to match every 80 cents that they send to us. We have to come up with 20 cents.
Okay.
As of the year 2011, we do not have enough money coming in on our state gas tax and our registration
fee. And that's
fee.
because of things that occurred back Blanchard and Engler administration on sort of the building and bonding issues?
We're challenged because of the bonding that has happened. Even the current governor had her own program, the Jobs Today initiative, and it's worked well. You know, pave today, pay tomorrow. We take advantage of lower prices today, guessing that there's going to be price escalations. They've nailed it. We've done well. However, we are paying, just to put it into perspective, our current MDOT budget, the road and bridge program that we're going to see across the state, is about $1.2 billion on average. The amount that we are paying in debt from those past programs is about $240 to $250 million a year.
Okay, so about a third of the budget.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So it's serious, and so we can't.
And how long is that going to go?
Well, it continues on for years into the future. It's not just a short-term debt. It's over a decade. So it's not something that's going to solve itself in the near-term future. We have to look at options of increasing our investment here in Michigan so that those counties, those municipalities can do what they need to do to attract those job providers back to Michigan, to attract tourists to Michigan and spend those dollars so that we all improve here in Michigan.
Well, I think part of the reason why I've been supportive of coming up with a solution is that you talk about it, and you alluded to sprawl, and as you know, northern Michigan has always been sort of very thoughtful in its land use, but you still have to rebuild the infrastructure that's existing.
Yes, and that's what we are hoping for. Focus on those areas of need that can produce economic activity for us. Northern Michigan is a perfect example of that. Throughout the summer, the cars are jam-packed on our highways trying to get up north, and that's what we want here in Michigan. But we don't want people coming in from Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, and the minute that they hit our state line, hitting the potholes for the next 4 hours trying to get up north. We need to put an infrastructure in place that attracts them, not gives them something to talk about in the negative.
So we're probably talking at some sort of a tax or fee increase. First question I have is I listened to some of the comments that were made by Bob Lutz, who's involved with General Motors, going to be retiring, and then also I think Bill Ford Jr. Both companies are talking about 20 to 30% of their fleet is going to be electric cars. So how do we fund all of this infrastructure? Overlaying on a gas tax becomes a challenge with this amount of alternative fuel vehicles.
Well, the legislature and the governor together named the Transportation Funding Task Force, which was a group of individuals from across the state that came together, traveled the state. We went to Traverse City for one of our meetings. I was on that TF2, as we call it. There were several legislators on there. Ultimately, the TF2 came up with a list of recommendations, like a menu of ideas, and an understanding of the needs that we have. The needs study said just to put our pavement in good condition across the state, we need to invest an additional $3 billion per year. So it's a pretty big number.
For how long?
Going forward,
in perpetuity.
Yes. Right now, statewide, we invest about $3.4 billion annually in our overall infrastructure. That's state, local. They are suggesting, the TF2 has suggested almost doubling that amount. We need to do that in order to get the pavement in good condition. Go back to your point. The TF2 looked at the electric vehicle, the trends, and has come up with some recommendations to maybe consider a tax on the purchase of the energy source that is being considered. Hydrogen, diesel, gas, electricity. Somehow finding a way to we like to call it a user fee, because only those people that are using the system are paying for the system. Registration fees, gas tax, are only being purchased and taxed to those people that are using the system. So
it's going to be just very interesting, because I think that in the next weeks and months we have to address this issue.
We do.
But it's a unique to see where technology is headed. And we had the privilege of going over and seeing some of what Mr. Broad has done over in H&D up in Charlevoix, and amazing to see in the last 10 years how fast and how different this technology is. And it's the same thing in cars.
Yeah, well, and I think it's interesting for your listeners to understand, because the companies like Elmer's, like Reith Riley, and others in northern Michigan are not companies that are out there. They don't make the decision to change a design. We put down what is told to us by the engineer or the owner.
Right, that's what they share.
Yeah, and so I put it much akin to a pharmacist and a doctor relationship. The doctor writes the prescription, hands it to the pharmacist. He fills it exactly the way that the doctor laid it out. We are the pharmacist in this scenario. We only fill the prescription that the doctor, the engineer, or the owner tells us to. We do not change that. And people think those doggone contractors have changed the road here, and we need to do something different.
And that's everything on ports or roads or rail or airports.
Yes.
So, Mike, it's been a very fast half hour, and we really appreciate your involvement today and spending some time with us. If you'd like to get in touch with our office or contact us anyway, please use the contact information listed below.